For changes to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. Successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. I believe life is constantly testing us for our level of commitment, and life's greatest rewards are reserved for those who demonstrate a never-ending commitment to act until they achieve. This level of resolve can move mountains, but it must be constant and consistent. As simplistic as this may sound, it is still the common denominator separating those who live their dreams from those who live in regret. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. If you develop the absolute sense of certainty that powerful beliefs provide, then you can get yourself to accomplish virtually anything, including those things that other people are certain are impossible. To effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. I've come to believe that all my past failure and frustration were actually laying the foundation for the understandings that have created the new level of living I now enjoy. My definition of success is to live your life in a way that causes you to feel a ton of pleasure and very little pain, and because of your lifestyle, have the people around you feel a lot more pleasure than they do pain. Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. The secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure instead of having pain and pleasure use you. If you do that, you're in control of your life. If you don't, life controls you. You see, it's never the environment, it's never the events of our lives, but the meaning we attach to the events, how we interpret them, that shapes who we are today and who will become tomorrow. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. In essence, if we want to direct our lives, we must take control of our consistent actions. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment. It's not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs as to what those events mean. Success comes from taking the initiative and following up, persisting, eloquently expressing the depth of your love. What simple action could you take today to produce a new momentum toward success in your life? Using the power of decision gives you the capacity to get past any excuse to change any and every part of your life in an instant. Want to learn to eat a lot? Here it is, eat a little. That way, you will be around long enough to eat a lot. We aren't in an information age, we are in an entertainment age. The higher your energy level, the more efficient your body, the more efficient your body, the better you feel, and the more you will use your talent to produce outstanding results. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. What we can or cannot do, what we consider possible or impossible, is rarely a function of our true capability. It is more likely a function of our beliefs about who we are. The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. One reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus, we never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have the awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them or one that can literally save their lives. Most people have no idea of the giant capacity we can immediately command when we focus all of our resources on mastering a single area of our lives. How am I going to live today in order to create the tomorrow I'm committed to? I challenge you to make your life a masterpiece. I challenge you to join the ranks of those people who live what they teach, who walk their talk. You see, in life, lots of people know what to do, but few people actually do what they know. Knowing is not enough. You must take action. It's not knowing what to do, it's doing what you know. The meeting of preparation with opportunity generates the offspring we call luck. We will act consistently with our view of who we truly are, whether that view is accurate or not. If you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. We can change our lives. We can do, have, and be exactly what we wish. The truth is that we can learn to condition our minds, bodies, and emotions to link pain or pleasure to whatever we choose. By changing what we link pain and pleasure to, we will instantly change our behaviors. There's always a way, if you're committed. It is not what we get, but who we become, what we contribute, that gives meaning to our lives. When people are like each other, they tend to like each other. Surmounting difficulty is the crucible that forms character. Remember, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. Once you have mastered time, you will understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Take control of your consistent emotions and begin to consciously and deliberately reshape your daily experience of life. People are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals, that is, goals that do not inspire them. The way we communicate with others and with ourselves ultimately determines the quality of our lives. In life you need either inspiration or desperation. We are the only beings on the planet who lead such rich internal lives that it's not the events that matter most to us, but rather, it's how we interpret those events that will determine how we think about ourselves and how we will act in the future. There is no such thing as failure. There are only results. My view is my entire life has been shaped by giving when I didn't have it. Some idiot who's wealthy and doesn't give, they'll rot in their own selfishness. I'm not worried about them. What I'm really interested in is the day-to-day person, human beings who want to go to another level of their life. Where the world is going and what technology is leading us to in terms of the evolution of humanity is an incredibly valuable thing to understand. How can you have any regret when everything worked out fine? But why I think it worked out fine is due to the lessons I learned along the way. And one of those involves listening to experts. That's basically what I have people do. I have them become aware. Once you set a goal, once you become aware of something, it becomes part of your consciousness. We're all going to face extreme stress in our lives. There's no one who is going to escape that. That's the one thing, rich or poor, I don't care who you are, you're going to lose. To help other people, you've got to be able to help yourself. You go to a psychiatrist, and they're on this Prozac, Effexor, and antidepressants, you may have picked the wrong person. If you go to somebody who's broke who's selling you financial services, that might not be a good thing. You go to somebody who's fat to help you lose weight. And a lot of people ironically do these types of things. People are irrational. What I want to do is let's take the irrational aspects out of it and let's just break this down. And you and I, let's go and see if we can't master this thing, a few steps at a time without giving up your day job, without having to give up your whole life. To me, money is a vehicle, it's a tool. I could use it as a weapon to destroy things, or money can create an opportunity, you can create a charity, you can create things for your family. You can go do something for your family that nobody else would ever do. You can create educational opportunities, you can feed people overseas. And there's a tremendous leverage with money, or you can destroy people with it. We're emotionally unfit. We expect things to be given to us that other generations had to earn. We think we're supposed to get homes with no money down and be supported by the government if we're unemployed. My life has changed because somebody fed my family on Thanksgiving when I was 11 years old. It wasn't the food that changed me, it was the fact that a stranger cared. That's what changed my life. That made me the person I am today and have been for the last 37 years. All that came out of that simple act of getting a result. I can't give other people what I've not experienced to some extent myself. It sharpens your game, and also, like any athlete, you're more fit because you have to be. You're getting ready because you have a reason to. Money is like a canvas or a shape-shifter. It's like whatever you project on that canvas, that's what money is for you. Really, in its essence, it's power. Most people relate to money the way they relate to power. They either think other people have it, and they don't and they're mad about it, or they feel fearful of it, like having it would be a burden or a responsibility. I've got a mission to help people improve and massively change their lives and create breakthroughs, so I'm always looking for them, and I'm the first guinea pig. I look at society and I look at people and I say, I'm not Mr. Motivator. I think you get a better sense. I believe in energy. I believe in passion. I believe in teaching people. Doing something extraordinarily good is very hard to do and you could fail. Extraordinarily bad is easy to do. It's much easier to burn down a building than to build one. When a person with money meets a person with experience, the person with the experience ends up with your money. Breakthroughs happen when the insight comes that I can do something right now to improve things. I am constantly looking to do something to provide people with strategies to create those immediate breakthroughs. That's my mission. Ignorance is poverty. Ignorance is pain. I don't want you to go through that. So what I'm trying to do is save you decades of time by bringing you the best. Some people get certainty by working harder and saying I'm going to master something. Some people get certainty by lowering their expectations, going, it will never work. And they lose their dreams, but they get their needs. The needs are not like goals. They're not like belief systems that are built into you. If you become a master of meaning, you become a master of your life. Two people can have the same experience. One person decides that because of that experience his or her life is over, while the other decides that God has challenged him or her to step up, face the challenge, and become more than he or she ever was before. So if you don't like your life, change it. How would you change it? You decide. There's no action without first decision. Decision is the mother or the father of action, and action is what changes your life. Self-development is the only thing that keeps a person from burning out. We all have many needs, the need for certainty, the need for variety, the need for significance, and the need for connection. But, ultimately, we must grow, and we must contribute in a meaningful way in order to feel fulfilled. Whether or not the company maximizes resources, that's the job of the leader. How do I get greater results using less resources? That requires an enormous psychology when the economy is changing, the technology is changing, and the competition is worldwide. I believe that life supports what supports more of life. In other words, motivation does matter. If you're just trying to take care of yourself, you're part of life, and I believe life steps in and gives you a certain level of insight. I want people to be inspired to do what's in front of them. If you won't give a dime out of a dollar, don't talk to a billionaire about giving their money away, because if you don't give a dime out of a dollar, I can promise you, you're not going to give a 100 million out of a billion. It's a lie. I'm on a mission to help people grow and give. The more they grow, the more they can give, the more life they build, the greater the quality of their life. You must learn how to handle rejection. To succeed, you must learn how to cope with a little word no, learn how to strip that rejection of all its power. The best salesmen are those who are rejected most. They are the ones who can take any no and use it as a prod to go on to the next yes. Achievers rarely, if ever, see a problem as permanent, while those who fail see even the smallest problems as permanent. The quality of your life is directly related to how much uncertainty you can comfortably handle. It's not about the resources you have available. It's about the resourcefulness you have within you. One of the finest beliefs I developed years ago that helped me to enjoy all of my life experience was the idea that there are no bad experiences. That no matter what I go through in life, whether it's a challenging experience or a pleasurable one, every experience provides me something of value if I look for it. Put yourself in a state of mind where you say to yourself, if you want to grow a muscle, you must lift something out of your comfort zone. Push beyond what is comfortable. If you don't, there will be no growth. Decisions decide destiny. There is no action without decision. The only problem we really have is we think we're not supposed to have problems. Problems call us to higher level. Face solve them now. You're already a financial trader. You might not think of it in just this way, but if you work for a living, you're trading your time for money. Frankly, it's just about the worst trade you can make. Why? You can always get more money, but you can't get more time. Decisions are the doorway to change. It's not resources but resourcefulness that ultimately makes the difference. If you pursue enrichment and growth, you must increase your references by pursuing ideas and experiences that wouldn't be a part of your life if you didn't consciously seek them out. There is always a place in the world for those who are willing to give of their time, energy, capital, creativity, and commitment. Change your habitual questions and change your destiny. People are rewarded in public for what they practice for years in private. You are not what you eat, You are what you digest and assimilate. Who are you now? Who have you decided to become? Make this decision consciously. Make it carefully. Make it powerfully. Then act upon it. The secret to a fulfilled life is not only to do well but also to do good. Here is an opportunity for you to celebrate like never before, my own power, and my own ability to get myself to do whatever is necessary. The world we live in is the world we choose to live in, whether consciously or unconsciously. If we choose bliss, that's what we get. If we choose misery, we get that, too. Resourcefulness is the cure to failure. Successful people are resourceful and find a way to make it work. The person with the most certainty in a given situation will influence the other. To measure success with material things is failure. If you've got $1 billion and you're ungrateful, you're a poor man. If you have very little but you're grateful for what you have, you're truly rich. The birth of excellence begins with our awareness that our beliefs are a choice. We usually don't think of it that way, but belief can be a conscious choice. You can choose beliefs that limit you, or you can choose beliefs that support you. The trick is to choose the beliefs that are conducive to success and the results you want and to discard the ones that hold you back. The person who is motivated by necessity is interested in what's known and what's secure. The person who is motivated by possibility is equally interested in what's not known. He wants to know what can evolve, what opportunities might develop. Most fears in life rarely come to fruition. Life isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more. One belief that I've developed to carry me through extremely tough times is simply this: God's delays are not God's denials. You can use your story, or your story can use you. The direction we're heading is more important than individual results. The race of life is a marathon, not a sprint. Many people know what they want to have, but have no idea of who they want to be. Getting things simply will not fulfill you. Only living and doing what you believe is the right thing will give you that sense of inner strength that we all deserve. Resolutions require only words. Results take action. Meaning equals emotion and emotion equals life. Choose consciously and wisely. I have seen business moguls achieve their ultimate goals but still live in frustration, worry, and fear. What's preventing these successful people from being happy? The answer is they have focused only on achievement and not fulfillment. Extraordinary accomplishment does not guarantee extraordinary joy, happiness, love, and a sense of meaning. These two skill sets feed off each other, and make me believe that success without fulfillment is failure. Execution will trump knowledge every day of the week. I believe that you and I, and everyone we'll ever meet, has the inborn capacity to be heroic, to take daring, courageous, and noble steps to make life better for others, even when in the short term it seems to be at our own expense. The capacity to do the right thing, to dare to take a stand and make a difference, is within you now. Just remember, loss is imaginary. Nothing ever disappears in the universe, it only changes form. If there is something that still wounds you, it's because of the meaning that you have linked to it. Maybe what you need to do is to have faith and say, even though I don't know why this has happened, I am willing to trust. Someday, when the time is right, I will understand. If you want to look for obstacles, what's wrong is always available. But so is what's right. Live with passion. Dr. Rosenberg has brought the simplicity of successful communication into the foreground. No matter what issue you're facing, his strategies for communicating with others will set you up to win every time. We usually overestimate what we think we can accomplish in 1 year, but we grossly underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. Your biography is not your destiny, your decisions are. The quality of my life was the quality of my questions. Probably the most pervasive false belief most of us harbor is the fallacy that only some superhuman act would have the power to turn our problems around. Nothing could be further from the truth. Life is cumulative. Whatever results we're experiencing in our lives are the accumulation of a host of small decisions we've made as individuals, as a family, as a community, as a society, and as a species. Frustration is a very positive sign. It means that the solution to your problem is within range, but what you're currently doing isn't working, and you need to change your approach in order to achieve your goal. The quality of your life is dependent upon the quality of the life of your cells. If the bloodstream is filled with waste products, the resulting environment does not promote a strong, vibrant, healthy cell life nor a biochemistry capable of creating a balanced emotional life for an individual. The quality of one's life is directly related to the quality of questions one asks oneself. Quality questions create a quality life. If you believe you are right, or you believe you are wrong, you're right. Whenever you are certain about it, you will support it. Remember that. If you are going to succeed, you must deal with what caused you to fail. The first thing these people have who succeed, who are fulfilled, is that they've decided what the purpose of the game is, at least for right now. Your current situation is no indication of your ultimate potential. I have dedicated my time here on earth to find the tools that can help each of us experience an extraordinary quality of life. I do believe that such a life can only be found by living one's true passion. Without passion, an individual gets caught in the trap of making a living instead of designing a life. When we fall into the trap of getting up each day to reenact an ordinary existence, we find ourselves at a level that is merely one of survival. Often people talk about how they feel stuck in a situation. You're never stuck. You may be a little frustrated, you may not have clear answers, but you're not stuck. The minute you represent the situation to yourself as being stuck, though, that's exactly how you'll feel. We must be very careful about the metaphors we allow ourselves to use. People with an impoverished vocabulary live an impoverished emotional life. People with rich vocabularies have a multi-hued palette of colors with which to paint their experience, not only for others, but for themselves as well. My personal belief is that the only thing keeping you from freedom is all the beliefs you have about what has to happen before you can be there. All personal breakthroughs begin with a change in beliefs. Life is the dance between what you desire most and what you fear most. The only people without problems are in cemeteries. If you don't have problems, get on your knees and pray. Your current conditions do not reflect your ultimate potential, but rather the size and quality of goals upon which you currently are focusing. Progress is the ultimate motivation. If we habitually focus on how to improve things that are already great, can you see how this spirit can transform ourselves, our organizations, families and communities? If we don't consciously plant the seeds of what we want in the gardens of our minds, we'll end up with weeds. Why not make cheerfulness, outrageousness, playfulness a new priority for yourself? Make feeling good your expectation. You don't have to have a reason to feel good, you're alive. You can feel good for no reason at all. Always remember that you are bigger than the moment, you are more than anything that could ever happen to you. Often we are caught in a mental trap of seeing enormously successful people and thinking they are where they are because they have some special gift. Yet a closer look shows that the greatest gift that extraordinarily successful people have over the average person is their ability to get themselves to take action. Explore your web, the needs, the beliefs, and the emotions that are controlling you, so there's more of you to give and so you can appreciate what's driving other people. It's the only way our world's going to change. As a species, we're not only wired to choose today over tomorrow, but we hate to feel like we're losing out on something. The bottom line is, if we feel like we're losing something, we avoid it. We won't do it. That's why so many people don't save and invest. Saving sounds like you're giving something up, you're losing something today. But you're not. At the end of the day, the question to ask yourself is this: do your expenses, big and small, bring you the thrill they once did? If we don't see a failure as a challenge to modify our approach, but rather as a problem with ourselves, as a personality defect, we will immediately feel overwhelmed. Problems are spiritual lessons from God, spiritual lessons to be learned. Let's face it, we're not about to earn our way to wealth. That's a mistake millions of Americans make. We think that if we work harder, smarter, longer, we'll achieve our financial dreams, but our paycheck alone, no matter how big, isn't the answer. Problems are God's resistance to create spiritual muscles. If you change nothing, nothing will change. See things the way they are, not worse than they are. Many people make the mistake of thinking that all the challenges in their lives would dissipate if they just had enough money. Nothing could be further from the truth. Earning more money, in and of itself, rarely frees people. It's equally ridiculous to tell yourself that greater financial freedom and mastery of your finances would not offer you greater opportunities to expand, share, and create value for yourself and others. The kind of person other people perceive you to be controls their responses to you. You have to move from just working for money to a world where money works for you. It's important to realize that words shape our beliefs and impact our actions. The quality of our questions determine the quality of our lives. We look at what we do to determine who we are. All that you really want in life is to change how you feel. It's not the events that shape my life that determine how I feel and act, but, rather, it's the way I interpret and evaluate my life experiences. Determination is the wake-up call to the human will. You're in the midst of a war, a battle between the limits of a crowd seeking the surrender of your dreams, and the power of your true vision to create and contribute. It is a fight between those who will tell you what you cannot do, and that part of you that knows, and has always known, that we are more than our environment, and that a dream, backed by an unrelenting will to attain it, is truly a reality with an imminent arrival. You can't sit at the table of success for too long or you'll feel bored and dead. It's not just getting a goal that matters, but the quality of life you experience along the way. You and I have that same power at our disposal every moment of the day. At the moment, the questions that we ask ourselves can shape our perception of who we are, what we're capable of, and what we're willing to do to achieve our dreams. Remember, ask and you shall receive. If you ask a terrible question, you'll get a terrible answer. Your mental computer is ever ready to serve you, and whatever question you give it, it will surely come up with an answer. Many people say, well, I'd love to make a decision like that, but I'm not sure how I could change my life. They're paralyzed by the fear that they don't know exactly how to turn their dreams into reality. And as a result, They never make the decisions that could make their lives into the masterpieces they deserve to be. I'm here to tell you that it's not important initially to know how you're going to create a result. What's important is to decide you will find a way, no matter what. Our beliefs are like the unquestioned commands, telling us how things are, what's possible and what's impossible, what we can and cannot do. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't what they have, it's what they choose to see and do with their resources and their expertise of life. In order for things to change you, you must be able to change. If you lose 50%, it takes 100% to get back to where you started, and that takes something you can never get back: time. The road to success is always under construction. It is a progressive course, not an end to be reached. The way to go from discord to harmony is to go from concentrating on differences to concentrating on similarities. Commit to CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. There are different points of view about how to approach this experience of ultimate ecstasy, as some people describe it, or ultimate nirvana, or ultimate fulfillment. When two people meet, as long as there is any form of rapport maintained, the person with the most certainty will eventually influence the other person. Well, I'd love to make a decision like that, but I'm not sure how I could change my life. You can't influence somebody when you're judging them. I think there's a difference between I can and I am. And I am is really the goal that I'm looking for, rather than I can. One decision can change your life forever. If there is no action, you haven't really decided. All personal breakthroughs being with a change in beliefs. So how do we change? The most effective way is to get your brain to associate massive pain to the old belief. You either master money, or, on some level, money masters you. What we focus on determines how we feel. And how we feel, our state of mind, powerfully influences our actions and interactions. Forgiveness. This needs to be our greatest skill. The way to get good at forgiveness is to be thankful for all the little things you see in the other person. Most of us make unconscious choices in the words that we use. We sleepwalk through the maze of possibilities available to us. Realize now the power that your words command if you simply choose them wisely. Life, never deciding to master anything in particular. Is in the small decisions you and I make every day that create our destiny. You shape your perceptions, or someone shapes them for you. You do what you want to do, or you respond to someone else's plan for you. I'm both challenged and excited. My excitement is, I get a chance to give something back. My challenge is, the shortest seminar I usually do is 50 hours. Don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. Each day we must strive for constant and never-ending improvement. Success happens with a consistent increase in quality in your life. Have you ever said, I can't do that. I'm just not like that? If you've ever used this phrase, you've hit the boundary of how you've defined yourself in the past, and it's affecting the quality of your present-day life. Ask yourself, where did these beliefs about who I am come from, and how old are they? Maybe it's time to update your identity. Belief in limits creates limited people. Happy, vibrant, successful people think and behave in certain ways. So do miserable and unfulfilled people. In other words, there are patterns of success and patterns of failure. The good news is, success leaves clues. See it better than it is or you have no future. Without vision there is no possibility of improvement. People who succeed at the highest level are not lucky, they're doing something differently than everyone else. Many people try to avoid pressure, yet the absence of any tension or pressure usually creates a sense of boredom and the lackluster experience of life that so many people complain about. If you ever hear yourself or anyone you care about starting to express the belief that a problem is permanent, it's time to immediately shake that person loose. No matter what happens in your life, you've got to be able to believe, this, too, shall pass, and that if you keep persisting, you'll find a way. If your life's worth living, it's worth recording. If you want to cure boredom, be curious. If you're curious, nothing is a chore, it's automatic, you want to study. Cultivate curiosity, and life becomes an unending study of joy. Decision is the ultimate power. Decisions shape destiny. If we believe in magic, we'll live a magical life. If we believe our life is defined by narrow limits, we've suddenly made those beliefs real. The people who shape our lives and our cultures have the ability to communicate a vision or a quest or a joy or a mission. It is not that we don't know the right answers, it is just that we don't ask the right questions. Creating change. The first step to creating any change is deciding what you do want so that you have something to move toward. Your emotions are nothing but biochemical storms in your brain and you are in control of them at any point in time. You could be winning and feel like you're losing because the scorecard you're using is unfair. If there's anything you're not happy about in your relationships, in your health, in your career, make a decision right now about how you're going to change it immediately. There are so many groups making so much money in the medical care system that any major reorganization is going to make someone unhappy or anxious at the least. I don't know how you do it. Who needs to walk on fire when you can walk on water with this site? To this day, even when I hear about problems, as you've probably noticed, I tend to call them challenges. I don't dwell on them, and I immediately focus on how I can convert the challenge into an opportunity. If you want to change your life, change the questions you ask yourself each day. The difference between acting badly or brilliantly is not based on your ability, but on the state of your mind and or body in any given moment. Rapport is the ultimate tool for producing results with other people. No matter what you want in your life, if you can develop rapport with the right people, you'll be able to fill their needs, and they will be able to fill yours. Raise your standards for the one thing over which you have complete control yourself. It means you're committed to being intelligent, flexible, and creative enough to consistently find a way to look at your life in a fashion that makes any experience enriching. Cultivate curiosity. If you really want to grow in your lifetime, learn to be as inquisitive as a child. Curious people are never bored, and for them life becomes an unending study of joy. Passion is the genius of genius. Lasting fulfillment is attained only through gaining insight into the core of our human nature, unleashing the power to understand, appreciate, and enjoy our lives at the deepest level. The two master skills of life are the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. It's not about getting what you want. It's about experiencing what you really need by becoming more. The words that we attach to our experience become our experience. Break through the bonds of your past. You don't lack resources. You lack resourcefulness. People are bigger than anything that can happen to them. Effective leaders know that resources are never the problem. It's always a matter or resourcefulness. You can make a lot of money. You can rule kingdoms or run huge businesses or control vast terrain. But if you're just doing it for yourself, you're not really a success. Whatever people do, they do for a reason and they think that it meets their needs, by their perception. The only person who is truly holding you back is you. No more excuses. It's time to change. It's time to live life at a new level. Success leaves clues, but they must be acted upon. No one's life is a smooth sail, we all come into stormy weather. But it's this adversity, and more specifically our resilience, that makes us strong and successful. Beliefs help us tap the richest resources deep within us, directing these resources to support our desired outcome. No matter if the path is tough, and your nights are long, so long as your cause is noble and your mind is strong. Your capability is constant, but how much of it you use depends upon the identity you have for yourself. It's not can you, it's will you. The beliefs that we use to define our own individuality, what makes us unique, good, bad, or indifferent, from other individuals. It's the moments of our life that shape us. Expand your references, and you'll immediately expand your life. Power flows to those who serve. Most of society thinks that biography is destiny, that the past equals the future, and of course it does if you live there, but what we really have to remind ourselves is that decision is the ultimate power. If all we needed were ideas and positive thinking, then we all would have had ponies when we were kids and we would all be living our dream life now. If you can't, you must. If you must, you can. Most people fail in life because they major in minor things. Quality questions create a quality life. Successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Expectations send unconscious signals that people respond to. Decision equals destiny. Knowledge is only power to the extent that it is. USED. The power of reading a great book is that you start thinking like the author. For those magical moments while you are immersed in the forests of Arden, you are William Shakespeare. While you are shipwrecked on Treasure Island, you are Robert Louis Stevenson. While you are communing with nature at Walden, you are Henry David Thoreau. You start to think like they think, feel like they feel, and use imagination as they would. Their references become your own, and you carry these with you long after you've turned the last page. People are not their behaviors. Many people are passionate, but because of their limiting beliefs about who they are and what they can do, they never take actions that could make their dream a reality. Job dissatisfaction is the #1 factor in whether you survive your first heart attack. When you know what's most important to you, making a decision is quite simple. We only learn our limits by going beyond them. I propose that we all commit ourselves to the process of constant and never-ending improvement. The #1 key to success in life is to master your own state. If you can manage and master your states, there's nothing you can't do. Stop bullshitting yourself. You're not satisfied. You lowered your standards and are settling for a lot less. When people succeed, they tend to party. When they fail, they tend to ponder. Beliefs are either the keys to your freedom, or they can also become the giant locks to the prison that keeps you from achieving what you want. Human beings absolutely follow through on who they believe they are. Remember, it's not conditions but decisions that determine our lives. Some people try to deal with money by pretending it doesn't matter, but financial pressure is something that affects us all every day of our lives. If we can get to the truth, we can change anything. Leaders anticipate. Losers react. We're all unique and individual biochemically, but there are certain rules that if you violate them, you're going to have disease in the body. If you're aligned with them, you're going to have an abundance of energy and vitality and health. If you want a fulfilled life, stop thinking about wealthy people and what they have and you don't. Stop thinking from a place of scarcity. Don't ever speak publicly about anything that you're not passionate about and that you don't actually believe you have something truly unique about it to deliver. It really is understanding how to use money, and not let money use you. You can't raise a happy, more resilient kid if you're not a happy, more resilient adult. You've got to bring the emotion, and you have to understand that you can't touch other people if you're not touched. You can't move other people if you're not moved. So if you're just giving some frickin' talk you've memorized over and over again, you're going to have a flat effect. If you've just got a bunch of visuals on the screen that are leading your talk, hang up your shoes and get the hell out of there. Change your story, change your life. Divorce the story of limitation, and marry the story of the truth, and everything changes. It's not the lack of resources that cause failure, it's the lack of resourcefulness that causes failure. God's wealth circulates in my life, it flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires and goals are met instantaneously, for I am one with God and He is everything. Initiating and going through a divorce with 4 kids can be a brutal experience, but also a tempering one. It gave me perspective and insight to be able to find the love of my life. Unless you feed your mind, those suffering states will take over. The best way to get trained is to get mentored, live or by reading or watching videos by masters. That way, you start executing based on lessons from the best. I want to be remembered as a great friend, an outstanding father, an amazing husband, and a good soul who always strived to serve God and man. And during that time of service on earth, I would like people to think, he brought joy, love, opportunity, and fulfillment to millions of people. If there is any one skill that every professional must learn, it is how to brand himself or herself in the marketplace. A brand provides certainty to customers and lets them know that what they re-getting is the best. People don't like to make decisions. Once we decide, for example, the kind of toothpaste we prefer, rarely do we change. We have to make so many decisions every day in our lives that most of us are overwhelmed. Find the center of what you believe matters most to you in life and act on it today. The moment is now. You can't succeed by being good. That's what you get paid for. You can't succeed by being excellent. That's what you're expected to do. You can only succeed by being outstanding. People will go into a relationship. If it's a brand new relationship, it's so exciting because it's something brand new, it's variety, it's different. And you're so excited by the feelings. And what most people try to do, because they don't want to lose that, they try to control it to make it certain. And if they make it so certain, then you become bored in the relationship. It's a delicate balance. I'm always loading my brain with new ways of looking at something. We feel most small, we feel most challenged when we're only focusing on ourselves. Because even when you fulfill yourself, meaning you get what you think you want, you still find yourself in a position where it's never enough. Whenever somebody reaches above their own limitations, I always tell people, the best time to go give is when you have nothing. It is not our conditions, but our decisions that shape our lives. I truly believe that it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So choose carefully what things mean, and what to do about them. With conscious focus, a connection with our loving nature, and a desire to serve, we truly can experience heaven while still here on earth. I believe therapy can be done more rapidly. I'm into your finding the source of what's making you think and feel the way you do and shifting it quickly. I was like, if I don't change my mind, if I don't change my heart, if I don't develop some skill, I'm always going to be sleeping in my car. Take massive action. So many people wait until they have all the answers. I have no delusions that I'm the only source of improving people's lives or that I'm even the right source. My style is intense, and it's not going to be right for everybody. Happiness is in the mind. Experiences of joy or pleasure should be found in the body, but ongoing joy, pure unadulterated joy, that feeling of bliss for no reason comes when you feel like your life matters because it matters to more than yourself. It's not leadership by position that allows people to succeed, it's the capacity to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of other human beings. I don't fix anybody, because I don't think anybody's broken. I think what people have are patterns, and those can be changed. People quickly understand that what's controlling their thoughts and emotions are their values and rules, and they learn how to shift those. You can get connections in lots of ways. You can get it by a friendship. You can get it by a dog. You can get it by a child. You can get it by being attached to a cause. You can get it by having huge problems and sharing those problems with other people. Most people, if they're doing really well in their career, often don't have the right intimacy with their partner, or they're doing great in their home life, but their finances are a mess. The biggest thing I did was that I used to go to the library. I fed my mind every day. Most people settle for connection, because love's too scary. They don't want to lose that feeling, that super high is too crushing, so they settle for the comfort of connection. Your thoughts really, truly shape everything in your life that you feel and experience. Winter isn't forever. Winter is always followed by spring. And it's how to take advantage of whatever season you're in. I got addicted to lighting people up, just seeing people so happy, 'cause they rediscovered what they're capable of, and so that became my life's work. If you look around the world, and I can tell you right now that the majority of the planet is focused on certainty and significance. And those two absolutely guarantee unhappiness. Because if you're driven by significance, it doesn't matter what you achieve, it's never enough. What we feel is not based on our experience, but on our interpretation of experiences. Doing nothing makes us crazy. But freedom comes when you don't have to work. When your spirit is alive, when somebody has got a strong spirit, they could be on the verge of death physically, and they'll leak out more life. Inside of all of us we have these patterns where we eventually become at least ethnocentric. We care about our group, our mom, our dad, our family, our religion. And some people, eventually, evolve beyond that until they're more human-centric or even spirit-centric, where they care about everything. It doesn't matter what you achieve, if you don't keep growing you'll feel dead. I think the most important key to quality communication and interaction is developing an interest in the person you read talking with. Most women know the secret to a quality conversation is to ask quality questions and have a sincere interest in hearing the answers. In fact, the best communicators very often say the least. It is not the extrovert who dominates the conversation that a client feels most connected with, but rather the individual who shows a real and sincere interest in knowing about the life of the person they read talking with. Smile. It creates positive physiological change. In fact, if you're a mother or a father, you're filled with oxytocin when you have a child. It makes you love the baby, even though they look like a lizard. You'll think it's the beautiful thing in the world. If you are driven by certainty, you can't grow. If you are driven by certainty, if somebody messes with you, you can get very intense, even violent, depending upon the person's personality. Ultimately, no man or woman is happy unless they have found a way to contribute beyond themselves. Life is found in the dance between your deepest desire and your greatest fear. Success leaves clues. Go figure out what someone who was successful did, and model it. Improve it, but learn their steps. They have knowledge. Let fear be a counselor and not a jailer. This inspiring film has the power to transform your health. Negative things you tell yourself are incantations. Turn them into incantations. The questions you ask consistently will create either enervation or enjoyment, indignation or inspiration, misery or magic. Ask the questions that will uplift your spirit and push you along the path of human excellence. Why wait to be memorable? Everybody's life is either rewarding or an example. Effective leaders have the ability to consistently move themselves and others to action because they understand the invisible forces that shape us. I can help someone grow their business 130% in 12 to 18 months only because I've done that with so many of my own and have faced so many challenges. I will tell you one other thing about money. When you don't have it, it sure as hell affects the quality of people's health and their relationships. And paper money isn't even real today, right? It's all really ones and zeros in computers today. But at the same time, if you don't have it, it certainly affects the quality of your life. The most important thing is contribution because the secret to living is giving. If you catch on to that, you start realizing that there's nothing you can get that comes close to what you can give. Life is calling all of us to be more than just about ourselves, and that is when we get that spiritual hit. People are my greatest resource. My favorite prayer is thank you. Most people are asking for things and not doing their part. Variety is the spice of life. We all want surprises. I don't think I have any regrets, but I can tell you what I learned from mistakes or failures. I've had plenty of those. I just don't believe in regret, and my economic world is not what I would ever have imagined. I'm financially free. Determination and persistence are melded together. Their basis comes from people who stay hungry and don't allow themselves to get too comfortable. Entering a comfort zone is the fastest way to kill your drive and determination, at which point you begin to accept whatever you have as being good enough. There is no self-esteem in accepting the status quo. There are tremendous emotional and psychological rewards that come with pushing yourself to break through past limits and, in the process, creating something of value for yourself and others. It's not that diabetes, heart disease, and obesity runs in your family, it's that no one runs in your family. Things happen in my physical body, in my relationships. I've buried 3 fathers and a mother. I've had a doctor tell me I've got a tumor in my brain. And when you face those situations, they transform you, they change you, and when you're able to break through them to a new level, they allow you to have gifts to give other people. Reading put perspective to any challenge I was facing and made me see that extraordinary people usually had extraordinary pain, difficulties, or injustices. That's part of why they have the drive and hunger to do good in the world, to make something happen. You have to make the shift from being a consumer in the economy to becoming an owner, and you do it by becoming an investor. If you want access to the files of valuable information in a computer, you must understand how to retrieve the data by asking for it with the proper commands. Likewise, what enables you to get anything you want from your own personal databanks is the commanding power of asking questions. Disappointment can drive us, or it can defeat us. What we call stress is just extension of being busy without meaning. When you do things that are not meaningful to you, just to get the sense of completion, just to feel like you got something done, your spirit feels empty. So, the most important thing for people to realize is that you have to control the flow of information in your life. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give it. Money can't be cared about, it's got to be a tool that you use, because if you don't use it, it will use you. If you don't educate yourself, this is an area of your life that it is a game. Don't get roped into talking about something that you don't really have passion for, and don't get roped into something you don't have expertise in. Why should somebody listen to you? If you're going to take somebody's time, you better deliver. I always believe leaders are readers, so you've got to read 30 minutes a day of something that's going to inspire you. I discovered a long time ago that if I helped people get what they wanted, I would always get what I wanted and would never have to worry. We surround ourselves with what is better or see other people as role models. You go, if they can do this, so can I. That starts to trigger people, as well. There is the need to feel unique, special, important, or needed. Everybody has those needs, including the people that say I don't need to be special. New year equals a new life. Decide today who you will become, what you will give, how you will live. I'm a strategist, not a motivator. I'm obsessed with finding strategies that create real results in the shortest period of time. In the end, money should serve something greater than just money. It should serve you, your family, the people you want to touch. Innovation is an ongoing process that you build into your culture. We always have a choice. A woman can do anything a man can do today and then some. She can even have a child without a man. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your relationships. Most everybody thinks that if I want to get big rewards I need to take huge risks. But if you keep thinking that, you're gonna be broke. Success leaves clues, proximity is power. Love your family, choose your peers. If you are not growing, you are dying. If we get total certainty, we get bored out of our minds. So, God, in her infinite wisdom, gave us a second human need, which is uncertainty. We need variety. We need surprise. And always remember the ultimate truth: life is not about money, it's about emotion. All decision-making is a values-clarifying exercise. Think of all your experiences as a huge tapestry that can be laid out in whatever pattern you wish. Each day you add a new thread to the weaving. Do you craft a curtain to hide behind, or do you fashion a magic carpet that will carry you to unequaled heights? The simple reason that most people fail financially is not because of the lack of a plan, it's not because of good advice, it's not even because of a lack of capital. It is for one reason: they attach more pain to the idea of having money than not having it. Read no less than half an hour a day or listen to audiobooks while in the car or cleaning the house. Biographies of great people taught me, as I said, that even eminent people fail but keep getting up. We live in a culture that expects instantaneous gratification for everything, and the web has only enhanced that in many ways. It empowers in many ways, but it also makes people believe, I should have everything right now. The one thing you can do for others is to manage your own life. And do it with conviction. Labor is service and service is life. And when we serve something more than ourselves, we feel alive. Losers react. Winners anticipate. When life's conditions don't equal your expectations, you are unhappy. Have no expectations, only appreciations, especially in the area of relationships. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. What's talked about is a dream, what's envisioned is exciting, what's planned become possible, what's scheduled is real. As long as you have a set of beliefs or lack of skills that make you feel you have it, the effect of life, you're going to have enormous stress and the quality of your life will go down. If you want anything to change, you've got to change it. If you want things to get better, you've got to get better. And the only way to really do well in life is to find more value than anybody. But to me, the notion that spirituality is separate from the rest of life does not allow for a practical approach to living a life that has extraordinary quality. When people say money doesn't matter, it sure as hell does when you're able to show your mother a beach house and then hand her the keys to it. That was one of the happiest moments of my life. Remember, rewards come in action, not in discussion. The quickest, simplest, and most powerful way I know to handle any emotion is to remember a time when you felt a similar emotion and realize that you've successfully handled this emotion before. You become what you do most of the time. Why me rarely produces a positive result, while how can I use this usually leads us in the direction of turning our difficulties into a driving force to make ourselves and the world better. No one ever achieved a goal by being interested in its achievement. One must be committed. In fact, in studying the source of people's success, I've found that persistence overshadows even talent as the most valued and effective resource in creating and shaping the quality of life. Most people give up a maddening 5 feet from their goal. I don't mean to sound corny, but it's one word: results. If you get results, you can get anyone. Every decision in your life is controlled by your beliefs and values. You may not realize it, but you have the power to choose what you believe about your life, people, money, and health. You can either choose beliefs that limit you, or beliefs that empower you to move toward success. Your beliefs energize you to create the world you want to live in right now. The key is to be aware of them, because what you value determines what you focus on. The path of least resistance will never make you proud. It is in the realm of uncertainty that your passion is found. You can't wait for the perfect situation. Find something you love, people you love, and get out there and you'll discover it. Questions provide the key to unlocking our unlimited potential. To have an extraordinary quality of life, you need 2 skills: the science of achievement, the ability to take anything you envision and make it real, and the art of fulfillment. This allows you to enjoy every moment of it. Life will pay any price you ask of it. If you don't master money, it's going to master you. The wealthiest person on earth is the one who appreciates. The most powerful way to control your focus is through the use of questions. I truly believe we all have a sleeping giant within us. Each of us has a talent, a gift, our own bit of genius just waiting to be tapped. It might be a talent for art or music, a special way of relating to the ones you love. It might be a genius for selling or innovating. I choose to believe that our Creator doesn't play favorites, that we've all been created unique, but with equal opportunities for experiencing life to the fullest. All goal setting must be immediately followed by both the development of a plan and massive and consistent action toward its fulfillment. We all have our own story, and we stay attached to our story. This can stop us from growing and living. You want to make your life better. Change your story, change your life. Remember this: anticipation is the ultimate power. Losers react, leaders anticipate. High self-esteem comes from feeling like you have control over events, not that events have control over you. Loss is imaginary. Nothing ever disappears in the universe, it only changes form. People have a need for certainty, and that need for certainty is in every human being, certainty that you can avoid pain, certainty that you can at least be comfortable. It's a survival instinct. You always succeed in producing a result. Success without fulfillment is failure. Live every day with an attitude of gratitude. What we do in life is determined by how we communicate to ourselves. In the modern world, the quality of life is the quality of communication. So many people feel that they have to wait for certain experiences in order to feel the emotions they desire. For instance, they don't give themselves permission to feel loved or happy or confident unless a particular set of expectations is met. I'm here to tell you that you can feel any way you choose at any moment in time. Every time you reach for food, ask yourself, will this cleanse or clog me? All personal breakthroughs begin with a change in beliefs. So how do we change? The most effective way is to get your brain to associate massive pain to the old belief. You must feel deep in your gut that not only has this belief cost you pain in the past, but it's costing you in the present and, ultimately, can only bring you pain in the future. Then you must associate tremendous pleasure to the idea of adopting a new, empowering belief. Identity is this incredible invisible force that controls your whole life. It's invisible, like gravity is invisible, but it controls your whole life. Emotion is created by motion. Whatever you're feeling right now is related to how you're using your body. To paraphrase the philosopher Nietzsche, he who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. I've found that 20% of any change is knowing how, but 80% is knowing why. If we gather a set of strong enough reasons to change, we can change in a minute something we've failed to change for years. To me, words are like stick pins. I can throw a word at you and it will bounce right off your body. But if I take that little stick pin and wire it to the back of an iron bar called human emotion, I can put that thing right through your heart. Success is doing what you want to do, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want. Our culture teaches us that making significant changes takes a long time and is difficult to do. This is simply not true. Change happens in an instant. It is not a process, it is something you do in an instant by simply making a decision. If you're aware when it's going on, you can deal with it and change it. If you're not aware of it, you'll be mystified at the states that come and go seemingly without reason. Life wants you to serve something more than yourself. When you serve something more than yourself, you are served. It's the most ironic thing in the world. Realize that the hardest step in achieving anything is making a true commitment. Leaders focus on what they can control, what they have, and what they want. I think spirituality is a part of everything. It doesn't need to be separated out from everything else. It's not what we do once in a while that counts, but our habitual actions. What ultimately determines who we become and where we go in life are our decisions. These decisions shape our destiny. Most people aren't really happy, but they aren't unhappy enough to do anything about it. That's a dangerous place to be. Things do not have meaning. We assign meaning to everything. If you question anything enough, you'll begin to doubt it. What is an extraordinary life? A life of meaning, a magnificent life, a life of joy, happiness, love, passion, success, and fulfillment. Life experienced on your terms. The difference between those who fail to achieve their goals in life and those who succeed is the difference between those who cannot put themselves in a supportive state and those who can consistently put themselves in a state that supports them in their achievements. Other than our love, our labor is one of the most sacred gifts we can give. When your labor is your love, life is sacred. Love what you do or change. If you learn to condition yourself, you can change anything you want in your life. Remember, anything you want that's valuable requires you to break through short-term pain in order to gain long-term pleasure. Never laugh at anyone's dream. People who don't have dreams don't have much. My whole life is driven by love. It always has been. It's never been driven by material things, which are just benefits of doing something I loved. Expect change. Analyze the landscape. Take the opportunities. Stop being the chess piece, become the player. It's your move. The greater your power degree, the extra environment friendly your physique. The extra environment friendly your physique, the higher you are feeling and the extra you'll use your expertise to supply excellent outcomes. Your philosophy of life shapes you more than anything else. Change is never a matter of ability, it's always a matter of motivation. You and I must realize that the English language is filled with words that, in addition to their literal meanings, convey distinct emotional intensity. For example, if you develop a habit of saying you hate things, you hate your hair, you hate your job, you hate having to do something, do you think this raises the intensity of your negative emotional states more than if you use a phrase like "I prefer something else"? Our hashtag imagination is 10 times more potent than our hashtag willpower. Working because you want to, not because you have to, is financial freedom. Happiness is found in the absence of expectation and a continuous focus on appreciation. We can all reduce our life to a description that makes people feel sorry for ourselves, or we can expand our life to a dimension where we connect and give to others. With goals you can create the future in advance. Your imagination is 10 times more potent than your willpower. Unleashed, it provides a sense of certainty and tenacious vision that goes far beyond any limitation of the past. Where focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, whatever you're focusing on grows. In other words, your life is controlled by what you focus on. That's why you need to focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. When you next find yourself in a state of uncertainty, resist your fear. Shift your focus toward where you want to go and your actions will take you in that direction. The secret to success is no secret. It's called work your ass off and find a way to add more value to people's lives than anyone else does. Make your life a masterpiece. Step beyond the demands of the moment and begin right now to design and live the life you deserve. I think self-education is the greatest and best thing you could ever make. You continue to change your approach until you achieve what you want using whatever life gives you along the way. The principles of nonviolent communication taught by Dr. Rosenberg are instrumental in creating an extraordinary and fulfilling quality of life. His compassionate and inspiring message cuts right to the heart of successful communication. Personal power is the ability to take action. When it looks impossible and you are ready to quit, victory is near. It sounds so stupid, so basic, but when you are really in a grateful state, you are like a magnet for joy. Energy is not only the basis of our existence, it is the fuel that makes everything in our lives real and possible. You've achieved cheerfulness the day you realized that no matter what's happening around you, being anything other than cheerful will not make it better. Here's a 2-step formula for handling stress. Step number 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Step number 2, remember it's all small stuff. Keep your eyes out for #magical moments, they're everywhere. Live with passion today and every day. As we develop new beliefs about who we are, our behavior will change to support the new identity. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. If people maintain the belief systems that empower them, they'll keep coming back with enough action and enough resourcefulness to succeed eventually. People will do more to avoid pain than they will do to gain pleasure. The most important rules that I ever adopted to help me in achieving my goals were those I learned from a very successful man who taught me to first write down the goal, and then to never leave the sight of setting a goal without first taking some form of positive action toward its attainment. Your destiny is determined by your decisions. Leaders spend 5% of their time on the problem, 95% of their time on the solution. Get over it, crush it. All successful people learn that success is buried on the other side of frustration. When you focus on serving, there is no fear in you. The truth of the matter is that there's nothing you can't accomplish if, 1. You clearly decide what it is that you're absolutely committed to achieving. 2. You're willing to take massive action. 3. You notice what's working or not. And 4. You continue to change your approach until you achieve what you want, using whatever life gives you along the way. In life, never spend more than 10% of your time on the problem, and spend at least 90% of your time on the solution. I'm going to make my life every day about being a blessing in people's lives. If I'm a blessing to people's lives, then there will be nothing to worry about again. The ability to find meaning in the most difficult times, I think, is one of the most important skills of life. Things are only impossible until somebody does what another believes can't be done. The minute you start keeping score, you're destroying the relationship. The first belief we must have if we're going to create change quickly is that we can change now. A problem is a question you haven't yet answered to a level that has fulfilled you. Right now you can make a decision. If you truly decided to, you can do almost anything. So if you don't like the current relationship you're in, make the decision now to change it. If you don't like your current job, change it. You might say, what if I screw up? Then screw up big. Go for it. Do a big screw up. If you're gonna make a change, you're gonna have to operate from a new belief that says life happens not to me but for me. Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Problems are the gifts that make us dig out and figure out who we are, what we're made for, and what we're responsible to give back to life. Why do people persist in a dissatisfying relationship, unwilling either to work towards solutions or end it and move on? It's because they know changing will lead to the unknown, and most people believe that the unknown will be much more painful than what they're already experiencing. Your biggest problem is that you think the current problem you're facing is your problem. Deciding to commit yourself to long-term results rather than short-term fixes is as important as any decision you'll make in your lifetime. Your number one skill as a leader is the ability to influence. Success comes from taking the initiative and following up or persisting. It's your decisions, not your conditions, which shape your life. Success is not something you achieve, conquer, climb, or complete. Success is a process, it's a way of life. Nothing has to happen for me to feel good. I feel good because I'm alive. Life is a gift, and I revel in it. All human progress is preceded by new questions. Just because someone seems to have more certainty, doesn't mean they're right. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. That's your job. A genuine quality of life comes from consistent, quality questions. It's not what's happening to you now or what has happened in your past that determines who you become. Rather, it's your decisions about what to focus on, what things mean to you, and what you're going to do about them that will determine your ultimate destiny. Everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves you. If you want to play the game and win, you've got to play full out. You've got to be willing to feel stupid, and you've got to be willing to try things that might not work, and if they don't work, be willing to change your approach. Otherwise, how could you innovate? How could you grow? How could you discover who you really are? What kind of person will I have to become in order to achieve all that I want? Will today be the day you decide once and for all to make your life consistent with the quality of your spirit? Then start by proclaiming, "This is what I am. This is what my life is about. And this is what I'm going to do. Nothing will stop me from achieving my destiny. I will not be denied." The secret of living is giving. It's not about success, it's about progress. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. If we believe in magic, we'll live a magical life. Nothing has any power over me other than that which I give it through my conscious thoughts. Complexity is the enemy of execution. People who say, "I don't know what to do," usually aren't inspired enough to make it happen. It's pretty simple. The action you take will determine the results you achieve. If you talk about it, it's a dream; if you envision it, it's possible; but if you schedule it, it's real. The defining factor for success is never resources, it's resourcefulness. What simple action could you take today to produce a new momentum toward success in your life? The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. How do you turn the invisible into the visible? The first step is to define your dream precisely. the only limit to what you can achieve is the extent of your ability to define with precision that which you desire. Who you spend time with is who you become. Change your life by consciously choosing to surround yourself with people with higher standards. Most people know what to do, but they don't do what they know, because they haven't found their inner drive, their passion. If you tell yourself a lie long enough, you'll start to believe it. I don't worry about maintaining the quality of my life, because every day I work on improving it. Personal power involves producing success through modeling what works and taking consistent action towards your goals. At the same time, you have to internalize behavioral and belief changes in order to take the necessary action to produce the results. It's been said that successful people do what others won't, and that if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Both of those statements are true. Focus equals feeling. Feed and strengthen your body. Fear is physical. When you lift weights or go for a sprint, that energy flows back into your body and restores you to certainty. You've got to be in a determined state in order to succeed. Courage, like fear, is a habit. The more you do it, the more you do it, and this habit of stepping up, of taking action more than anything else, will move you in a different direction. Change is automatic, progress is not. The more rules you have about how people have to be, how life has to be for you to be happy, the less happy you're going to be. Success in life is the result of good judgment. Good judgment is usually the result of experience. Experience is usually the result of bad judgment. You can't always control the wind, but you can control your sails. People always try to be perfect. That's why they don't start anything. Perfection is the lowest standard in the world. Because if you're trying to be perfect, you know you can't be. So what you really have is a standard you can never achieve. You want to be outstanding, not perfect. A fantastic analogy for the power of focus is racing cars. When your car begins to skid, the natural reflex is to look at the wall in an attempt to avoid it. But if you keep focusing on what you fear, that's exactly where you'll end up. Professional racers know that we unconsciously steer in the direction of our focus, so with their lives on the line, they turn their focus away from the wall and towards the open track. If you add the value, you will become the brand. Find a way to add more value than anyone else does. To create an extraordinary quality of life, you must create a vision that's not only obtainable, but that is sustainable. Self-awareness is one of the rarest of human commodities. I don't mean self-consciousness where you're limiting and evaluating yourself. I mean being aware of your own patterns. Our idea of a real problem is someone else's idea of an ultimate dream. Put the problem in perspective. The most powerful force in the human psyche is people's need for their words and actions to stay consistent with their identity, how we define ourselves. The art of fulfillment is the ability to experience not only the thrill of the chase, but also the magic of the moment, the unbridled joy of feeling truly alive. There are no unresourceful people, only unresourceful states. I began to realize that thinking itself is nothing but the process of asking and answering questions. What we link to pleasure and what we link to pain determines our destiny. Most people's lives are a direct reflection of their peer groups. Never leave the sight of a goal without first taking some form of positive action towards its attainment. Right now, take a moment to define the first steps you must take to achieve some goal. What can you do today to move forward? The way to expand our lives is to model the lives of those people who are already succeeding. What's the ultimate price I'll pay if I don't stop this indulgence now? By asking questions like this, they'll associate pain to overeating, and their behavior will change immediately. Time and again, researchers have shown that students' capabilities are powerfully impacted by the identities they develop for themselves as the result of teachers' belief in their level of intelligence. You want to know the biggest illusion about success? That it's like a pinnacle to be climbed, a thing to be possessed, or a static result to be achieved. If you want to succeed, if you want to achieve all your outcomes, you have to think of success as a process, a way of life, a habit of mind, a strategy for life. Every great, successful person I know shares the capacity to remain centered, clear, and powerful in the midst of emotional storms. Time is the capital of your life, so spend it wisely. No food or drug will ever do for you what a fresh supply of oxygen will. The quality of your life is the quality of where you live emotionally. The message of frustration is an exciting signal. It means that your brain believes you could be doing better than you currently are. We are defined by the stories we tell ourselves. The secret to living is giving. You want to be a hero? Learn to create certainty in the face of fear. When people ask me what really changed my life, I tell them that absolutely the most important thing was changing what I demanded on myself. Until you get dissatisfied, you won't do anything to really move your life to another level. Dissatisfaction is a gem. If you're totally satisfied, you're going to get comfortable. And then your life begins to deteriorate. Long ago, I realized that success leaves clues, and that people who produce outstanding results do specific things to create those results. I believe that if I precisely duplicated the actions of others, I could reproduce the same quality of results that they had. Without a vision, there is no possibility of creating something larger than what already exists. An entrepreneur has to be able to bring something to the table through his or her vision that is not being provided by others, a special way of meeting needs, caring for others, treating patients, or marketing. An entrepreneur must have enormous faith. Risk-taking is critical to the development of an enterprise. You will not take risks unless you have the faith to do so. It's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. Realize that if you can instantly create a problem, you can just as quickly and easily create a solution. All too often, the security of a mediocre present is more comfortable than the adventure of trying to be more in the future. Understand that all emotions serve you. Those you once thought of as negative emotions are merely calls to action. For example, if you feel frustrated, it means that you believe things could be better, and they're not. This is a call to action telling you there's something you must do to make this better now. This negative emotion is actually a gift if you use it effectively. A bit of baseball wisdom: you can't steal second with your foot on first. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. What's impossible only remains so until someone finds a way to do what others are sure can't be done. Lack of emotion causes lack of progress and lack of motivation. Don't even wait until you've lost a pound. The minute you can push the plate away with food still on it, give yourself a pat on the back. If the results don't scream, do this again. Try something new. Think of your mind, your emotions, and your spirit as the ultimate garden. The way to ensure a bountiful, nourishing harvest is to plant seeds like love, warmth, and appreciation, instead of seeds like disappointment, anger, and fear. Marry a man-woman you love to talk to. As you get older, their conversational skills will be as important as any other. If you want to change your life in the fastest way possible, trade your expectations of others for appreciation. Lead a life of your own design, on your own terms, not one that others, or the environment have scripted for you. Connection and love, we all want it. Most people settle for connection because love's too scary. People who fail focus on what they will have to go through. People who succeed focus on what it will feel like at the end. Success does not mean taking, it means truly growing in giving. The meaning and the purpose behind some events are unknowable. This is the ultimate test of our faith. We must trust that everyone in life is here to learn different lessons at different times, that good and bad experiences are only the perceptions of man. After all, some of your worst experiences have truly been your best. They've sculpted you, trained you, developed within you a sensitivity and set you in a direction that reaches out to impact your ultimate destiny. Information without execution is poverty. Having an identity that is specifically linked to your age or how you look would definitely set you up for pain because these things will change. If we have a broader sense of who we are, our identity never becomes threatened. I wrote down all the things I would no longer accept in my life, all the things I would no longer tolerate, and all the things that I aspire to becoming. There is no breakthrough without a breakdown. Success is cutting off all of your options for failure. The only way a relationship will last is if you see it as a place that you go to give, and not a place that you go to take. I've continued to recognize the power individuals have to change virtually anything and everything in their lives in an instant. I've learned that the resources we need to turn our dreams into reality are within us, merely waiting for the day when we decide to wake up and claim our birthright. I always tell people there's nothing greater than a crisis to create a breakthrough. Because that's when we break through usually. Most people don't proactively break through, they break through because they have to. And the beauty of crisis is it doesn't feel beautiful, is it melts us down. And when you're melted down you can recast your life in a new way. If you don't make a conscious effort to control your focus and decide in advance which things you're going to focus on, you'll be so pulled by the demands of the world that you will soon find yourself living in reaction rather than living a life plan you've designed for yourself. There is a force that controls all your decisions. It influences how you think and feel every moment you're alive. It determines what you will do and what you will not do. It determines how you feel about anything that occurs in your life. That force is your beliefs. Power moves with you when you have an intent to serve more than yourself. I look at people's lives and you see what's not working in their lives, and it usually comes from an undisciplined mind. There's a huge difference between achieving to be happy and happily achieving. With enough emotional intensity and repetition, our nervous systems experience something as real, even if it hasn't occurred yet. Every form of power comes down to language. In law, there's all kinds of words you don't know if you're not a lawyer, and that gives them power. In business, it's the same thing. Our beliefs about what we are and what we can be precisely determine what we can be. The fact is, you are not a manager of circumstance, you're the architect of your life's experience. Everything in life and business, you only earn more if you become more valuable. Because if you can do more for people than anybody else does, you can prosper. But you can't do that unless you're constantly educating yourself with the cutting edge. My whole life, even when I had no money, I would invest in education. The greatest leverage you can create for yourself is the pain that comes from inside, not outside. Knowing that you have failed to live up to your own standards for your life is the ultimate pain. Most individuals work much harder to hang on to what they have than to take the necessary risk to shoot for their dreams. If you can't, you must, and if you must, you can. The secret of unleashing your true power is setting goals that are exciting enough that they truly inspire your creativity and ignite your passion. Everybody's got a past. The past does not equal the future unless you live there. Whatever you consistently think about and focus upon, you move toward. Being a leader is living life on your terms, not getting followers. Set high standards for yourself and don't settle for anything less. You are the best judge of yourself and your capabilities. Remember, courage, unused, diminishes. Commitment, unexercised, wanes. Love, unshared, dissipates. Your current situation does not determine your future. Your future is determined by your decision to succeed. Getting old is not a matter of age, it's a lack of #movement. And the ultimate lack of movement is death. Always have something to look forward to. When you believe it, it becomes self-fulfilling. If you keep a clear vision for your future, it will pull you like a magnet through your toughest times. Passion is the genesis of genius. It's not how long you live, but how you live that's important. Therefore, don't make your life just livable, make it memorable. The only reason we really pursue goals is to cause ourselves to expand and grow. Achieving goals by themselves will never make us happy in the long term. It's who you become, as you overcome the obstacles necessary to achieve your goals, that can give you the deepest and most long-lasting sense of fulfillment. The difference between must-should is the life you want and the life you have. What people can do is very different from what they will do. When people succeed, they party. When people fail, they ponder. If you can do one thing you thought was utterly impossible, it causes you to rethink your beliefs. Life is both subtler and more complex than some of us like to believe. So if you haven't done so already, review your beliefs and decide which ones you might change now and what you would change those beliefs to. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. Choose your peers wisely. Yesterday does not equal tomorrow. Forget the past and move towards your goals. Progress equals happiness. Simply by changing your habitual vocabulary, you can instantaneously change how you think, how you feel, and how you live. I also remember the moment my life changed, the moment I finally said, "I've had it. I know I'm much more than I'm demonstrating mentally, emotionally, and physically in my life." I made a decision in that moment which was to alter my life forever. I decided to change virtually every aspect of my life. I decided I would never again settle for less than I can be. There is no greatness without passion to be great, whether it's the aspiration of an athlete or an artist, a scientist, a parent, or a businessperson. Where focus goes, energy flows. And if you don't take the time to focus on what matters, then you're living a life of someone else's design. The more you understand what somebody wants, needs, and fears, the more you can figure out how to add value. Your income right now is a result of your standards. It is not the industry. It is not the economy. People who experience negative or stressful emotions on an ongoing basis are less healthy and live shorter lives. I remember reading about the astounding number of people in this country who die within 3 years of retiring, which proves to me that if you lose the sense that you are producing or contributing in some way, you literally lose the will to live. And that if you do have a reason to hang on, you will. Proximity is power. If you can get proximity with people that are the best in the world, things can happen because all of the people they know, the insights they have and the life experience they have. They can save you a decade of time by one insight. Successful people spend 10% of their time focused on the problems and 90% of the rest focused on the solution. Love is not a business. It's not a transaction. It's not an exchange or something you get for doing something. It's not a trade. It's a gift. You are now at a crossroads. This is your opportunity to make the most important decision you will ever make. Forget your past. Who are you now? Who have you decided you really are now? Don't think about who you have been. Who are you now? Who have you decided to become? Make this decision consciously. Make it carefully. Make it powerfully.